This will be an instructional. We're going to go through 4 different exercises, stretches that are not only really good for the sport and art of grappling, but also these exercises are really potent for anybody who is using their arms. So we're going to be looking at how we open the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder all simultaneously, which will lead us into a deeper connection with the spine, the shoulders, the upper back, and the chest. So the first exercise here is going to be a nice deep wrist stretch. So you see how I'm positioning my arm horizontally. My forearm is parallel to the ground, ideally. For those of you who don't have the mobility of the shoulder to bring the elbow up this high, it's okay to be lower. That's fine. Over time, as you practice, your arm and your shoulder will begin to be more mobile from regular practice. But for now, we're going to hold our forearm parallel to the ground. And then we're going to use our opposite hand to push into the back of the stretching wrist. You can see I'm pushing here, but at the same time, this arm is not giving up. I'm not letting this arm go slack. I'm keeping this arm in this winged out position. Okay, when the elbow is out like this, what I'm actually doing is I'm helping the scapula to also open up and free itself a little bit from the spine. Sometimes, especially now with this modern world, when we don't have our hands above our heads very often and our arms are kept really close to our rib cage, whether we're on the computer or we're typing or whatever we're doing, we're not getting really wide with our arms. So this exercise is going to help us to get this elbow a little more space from the rib cage and help to open up the shoulder joint. So fingertips pointed down, forearm parallel to the ground, and I'm going to stretch in. Now the breathing here is really important. As I breathe, I'm going to be really listening to the expansion not only in my abdomen, but also the feeling of my breath moving in my chest as well, specifically my back. In the beginning, you might not feel this, but the more you work with this stretch, the more you're going to begin to feel, especially the shoulder, the scapula, and the connection to the spine. Be mindful of the posture, dropping the chin slightly, lifting the back of the skull, keeping the knees bent. This can be done in the seated position, really good for people who don't have the stamina to stand for long periods of time. And then we're going to switch sides. You can shake that out, roll that out, and then we'll come around to the other side. Okay, again, notice how the arm, the elbow, is winged out. It's almost like I'm throwing this elbow out away from the body. Great. So that's the first exercise, the wrist stretch. The wrist stretch, which is actually opening up the elbow and the shoulder at the same time. Okay, shake that one out. All right, the second one. I'm going to put my hand, open palm, in front of my chest. Right hand, thumb pointed toward my chest. Then I'm going to turn the hand so that my thumb rotates and points away and the pinky finger points toward my heart. Now right away, you'll notice in your upper back, you'll notice how that turn shifts and again opens up the scapula away from the spine. Now I'm going to grab the thumb with my opposite hand and rotate even more to pull and twist the wrist. There's a lot of torsion that's being created in the forearm all the way up into the upper part of the arm and into the shoulder, and I'm going to hold this position. Finding my breath. The hand can be dropped toward the chest, that's fine. And over time, as you begin to create more space, you can bring the hand a little further away from the chest to deepen the stretch. And again, I don't want my shoulder to get jacked up here. I want my shoulder to drop. So my elbow is drawing away from the shoulder socket and away from the ear or the neck. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. Again, palm flat, thumb facing toward the chest. Turn the hand so the thumb rotates away from the chest. Grab the thumb pad with your opposite hand. Opposite thumb is pushing against the back of the hand to create a twist, twisting open the stretching arm and hand. And you'll notice there's a difference here. You'll feel the difference as you breathe and listen deeply to the breath and how the breath relates to tension in the body. Okay, and then relax, release, shake out the wrists, roll the wrists. It's another really great exercise. Rolling the wrists can happen with the palms open. Stretching the fingers can also happen with the wrists, with the hands closed in fists. When you stretch and roll the wrists, really pull the hands down towards the forearm. And then when you roll them open, really roll them open. This is going to open up and move energy that's been stored and trapped in the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, and ultimately the thoracic part of the spine and upper thoracic, even going up into your neck. Some small, simple exercises that are going to begin to open up the flow of energy in the body. Okay, so the next exercise, we're going to do palm flat, thumb pointed to the chest, about the height of the heart. And I'm going to rotate again. I'm going to rotate my thumb downwards, so my pinky's facing up, my thumb is down, palm pushing away from my hand. Again, this slight, small twist, you're going to notice what happens. You're going to feel something in the shoulder. There's going to be this deep internal twisting and rotation that's happening, spiraling up through the arm into the chest, the upper part of the back, and the spine. Then I'm going to slide the opposite hand in like this. I'm going to make this little gun with my thumb and index finger. I'm going to slide it in so that my opposite thumb is on top of my pinky. And now I'm going to twist and rotate the opposite thumb toward my chest. So my hand is going and twisting in this direction, and this hand is helping by rotating it even deeper toward my body. Again, you'll notice my forearm is parallel to the ground, and my hand is not close to my chest. My hand is out from my chest almost a foot, 10 inches or so. So it's important here to relax the chest, to relax the shoulder, relax the whole body as much as possible, to really feel the breath moving inside of these joints. You can stay here for several breaths and then switch. That's worth mentioning again that these stretches are really great for anybody, but they specifically are developing joint strength, which can be used in the case of higher level martial arts to protect the body from different types of joint locks. So those who are interested in or are already practicing a martial art, specifically a grappling art where there are joint locks involved, these types of stretches are going to make your joints more impervious to hyperextension and your bones from breaking or joints from popping. And if you have hyper mobile joints, stretching in this way and breathing into it is going to help to start to strengthen the connections between the bones of the arm and shoulder. Okay, relax, release, shake it out, notice what you feel, stay connected to your breath. Okay, the last one here is going to be a little bit more challenging for some who don't have a lot of mobility in the arm. That's okay. Regular practice is going to help you to become more flexible, more mobile, and stronger in these parts of your bodies. I'm going to take a flat palm, face up. Okay, right hand first, right palm is face up. My fingers are nice and flat. I'm going to take my left hand. I'm going to bring it over the fingertips of my right hand. So my fingers are basically perpendicular to each other. Left hand across, laying flat over the fingertips of my right hand. And now I'm going to push the palm and pad of my right hand forward so that my elbow joint is facing up. And then I'm going to bring my hands down towards my legs. I'm going to bring my fingers, tips, to point towards my legs. Now you can't see it because I'm wearing this long sleeve shirt, but my elbow joint is somewhat fully extended. I wouldn't go so far as to say hyperextended, but it's fully extended. Now what's happening here is that all the tendons of my arm, the muscles of my arm, are really getting lengthened. They're stretching open. Again, the breath is what's going to limit any kind of injury that could happen from stretching these joints. Always be mindful not to take yourself into pain. A little discomfort, a little bit of that muscular or the connective tissue stretching, those sensations are good and we should welcome them. Okay, opposite side, left hand, palm straight up, right fingers across over top of the left fingers. Push the palm straight out to extend the arm and then bring the hand down. Fingertips pointing back toward the legs. The palm should feel like it's stretching open. You'll feel the stretching of the tendons in the forearm. Breathing. Couple breaths and then release and relax. Very important after doing these exercises to stretch out the joints, to loosen up the joints after stretching them as we have. Shake, shake, shake. Really shake the thumbs out too. And as always, if you'd like to, you can bring your feet together or you can keep your feet apart. Bringing the hands below the navel. Dropping the chin, lengthening the spine, reaching for the sky with the crown of the head. Slight bend of the knees. Collecting the energy at the navel, feeling the movement of bodily fluid in the muscles, ligaments, tendons, inside the joint spaces, and also feeling energy coming back into the lower part of the belly. Noticing what you feel in your upper body, the shoulders and upper back, chest, the back of the skull. Beautiful practice. Joint opening exercises every day, increasing the flow of chi through your body.